Hello, everyone. We are here for yet another 70-star Pro League race. I am Good Grief, one of the commentators for this race, and with me in the booth is Falling Tacos. How are you doing today?
What up, Grief? I'm good, man. I'm just watching Kryptic. Just spitting. It's so good.
Oh, man, what is this? Oh, man. Really showboating with the soft block here. Kryptic just having an absolute good time looking at his cam. But speaking of which, we have our two racers here today. To the left, we have Kryptic. Try not to laugh looking at this. Pretty good 120-star runner and has a good track record.
Statement.
Yeah, and has a good track record with 120 and 70 races. How are you doing on this fine day today, Kryptic? Try to keep composed a bit.
Doing pretty good. I think this is probably our first time racing against each other, or I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I think it is.
So I'm pretty excited for that. I know you're very consistent, so I'm gonna have to bring a lot to the table here.
And yep,
As do I.
and yep, in the right corner, as Kryptic mentioned himself, we have Horror, someone who has very good consistency with 70-star, and I've been keeping up to date with his streams, and he is definitely 47 capable, closing in on it at any point. How are you doing today?
Doing very well. Having lots of good runs, so it's been a good day.
Heck yeah.
Well, glad to hear it. Loving the confidence on the view. So yeah, let's put the silly soft blocks away, Kryptic. Go to the cartridge, make sure your file is nice and empty, and then we will let race time
It's
send
gaming
them
time.
off.
Time to game.
Yeah. You're having too much fun with this, Kryptic.
I don't think he's having enough fun. I think that
Yeah.
this should just be a meme 70-star run where everybody just does meme things.
Yeah.
All signs.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
All signs 70-star run.
Yeah. Just that beaming smile on his face for memeing hard. You gotta love it. Alright. Looks like everyone's files are looking good. We'll let race time send them off now.
Alright.
Good luck to the both of you. This will be
good
an
luck,
ex-
gents.
Thanks.
yeah.
Thanks.
This
good
is
luck.
yeah. This is honestly going to be an exciting race.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. I imagine Saren's going to be rooting for Kryptic since he is a representative of the Cool Cat gang after all.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. He could have a bias against Kryptic also, though. You never know.
Nah, man, Saren just proved you wrong there.
Dang it, Saren. I was doing my best to stay neutral in the booth.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to root for Horror personally to make things even, you know?
There we go, yeah. And now we have to be unreasonably mad at each other, depending on how this goes.
Alrighty. But yep, as you see, Kryptic is on the Japanese cartridge. That will be a 2-second disadvantage for him, and I think he goes for CCM 18 anyways, so no worries about sound glitch when doing SSL secrets at least. Good Lakitu skip for both racers. Nice start for sure. Alright, let's see if
Everything running smoothly so far. You like to see it.
Yeah, both opting for bomb clip, which is understandable because IHOP's scary, especially in a race. This is some good sync action. Both getting their bomb clips down without any issue. Both opting for Womps 9, so we can follow the racers fairly closely at least.
Yeah, sorry about that. I think my internet just dipped a little there, but I'm back.
No worries.
This is such a close race already. You like to see that.
Yeah.
In fact, both of these racers have really close PBs, so if they're both playing in pretty good form, this should be a very interesting race.
Yeah. Kryptic is primarily a 120 runner, but that's a lot of 70 in that category anyways, so both have been grinding hard on their respective categories. We have got an exciting race on our hands.
Sure do. And, like, it's interesting how there aren't a ton of differences between what you do in 70 star and 120 star, but there are differences that are different enough that it could throw you off significantly, right?
Yep, there's those few stars that are 70 exclusive, and if you've been on the grindstone pretty hard for 120, you're gonna have to take care of those stars before you get some good consistency with it.
And things are still super tied up. I feel like if this weren't JP against US, like, it would almost look like it's just both players are the same feed.
Yeah, Kryptic is a bit behind, so they are actually even in terms of raw skill. Oh, yep, that is both of the annoying tricks out of the way. Done cleanly. Love to see it. Both opting for advanced cycle. Does have a fair bit of leniency over growth cycle. Smart choice to go for in a race. Both making the cycle quite comfortably. This has been a fairly...
That skip is super cool.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely saves a decent chunk in comparison to half cycle.
Yeah.
Pretty good strat to pick up on your journey to 49 when you're at low 50s, I'd say.
And so both of these racers still relatively tied up. Kryptic is falling slightly behind here, but not such a significant disadvantage that Horror can, just sit idly by and, be all willy-nilly about it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think this race is going to be a blowout at any point, so they really got to give it their all.
Absolutely. And Kryptic losing just a little bit of time to a faux pas with the tree.
Yeah, that tree side flips harder than it looks. Working with very specific angles.
Yeah, absolutely. And, if you have your stick in just the wrong position, it could end up with, a spin around the tree, which is very obviously suboptimal.
Unfortunately.
But both in the Womp fight at the moment.
Yeah, beating down the poor Womp.
Yeah, all he wants is, for his fellow giant slabs of stone to have equal rights to their work, but,
Or as they say,
yeah, exactly. That's, that's a very articulate way of stating the same point.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. And we are about to leave Womps.
Both having a pretty clean Womps overall. Barely any give.
Kryptic behind by about 7 seconds right now.
Yeah. I didn't really see anything major aside from like that wild side flip tree grab, so it just goes to
just
show.
small. Sorry.
Yeah, it just goes to show that those micro optimizations can take you away.
Absolutely. And let's see what the times are on this one. Horror gets a 12.6. Last time both of them got a 12.7.
Yeah, pretty
And
good slide
Cryptic's
times.
12.7. Yeah, absolutely. When you're getting, mid 12s, that's really good times.
Any 12 is good, I'd say.
That's true.
13 is where it starts to get dicey.
Even then, it's still, pretty decent. It's serviceable,
Yeah, no complaints with a low 13.
Exactly. Like, if I get a 13 too, I'm just like, cool. Got a 13 too.
Yeah, Saren pointing out this is the...
Oh.
Ooh. Yeah, that is tragic, but Cryptic having a nice recovery.
Yeah, absolutely. That was as fast as you could hope for, turning around for those coins.
That can be so disastrous if it's not in your favor.
And while these racers... Sorry?
No, go ahead.
So while these racers are headed into Dark World and starting Dark World, I think it would be a perfect time to point out that if you're not subscribed to CCG on YouTube, what are you even doing with your life? You should be subscribed, you should be liking, and you should be commenting.
Ooh, taking
that'll,
a bonk there.
give the channel a great boost. And yeah, that bonk was super unfortunate, but allowing Kryptic...
Oh, that amp's really not helping either.
Allowing Kryptic to catch up a little bit. That amp is in favor of Kryptic.
Yeah. I think that is normal cycle for Horror. Well, I think for Kryptic that's Shig, so that does close the gap a fair bit. And as Saren mentioned, this is the last race of the night, and oh boy, this is such an exciting note to end on for today.
Absolutely. Both of these racers are super good at this game, and this really is like a get comfy kind of race.
Yeah, get comfy for this nice action movie you're about to watch.
Oh no! And a full throw and misses the bomb for Kryptic.
Unfortunately.
So
Not
Kryptic
over
is
yet,
approximately 10 seconds behind right now. Maybe 12. But it's absolutely not over. You are 100% correct about that.
Yeah, I am still rooting for Horror, but I'm not gonna dunk on Kryptic either.
Absolutely.
Alright. So a quick little revisit to BOB to get another star, because IHOP is ridiculously difficult and it's highly recommended to not do in races.
Absolutely. It'd be really cool, though, to see it in, in a race.
And
But...
yeah, there are some people that have actually done it in races before. Some unique minds, to say the least.
I imagine it takes a lot of confidence to, go for it. You know what I mean? Like, square one.
Yeah. I think Chip Groove is someone who has that insane amount of confidence. He was, in the D-Rust phase, shows up for a show match race in the CCG, pulls off Island Hop, and I think he got it, actually.
What a friggin' guy. Chip Groove
yeah.
is an incredibly talented player.
Yep.
But so
does-
we are sorry.
And does have a 47 in this category.
Good stuff. However, currently we are watching both racers return the penguin to the mom, though Kryptic is behind by 1 star at the moment.
Yeah.
Well, not quite 1 star. It's more like a half a star.
Yeah. Either way, no matter whose cartridge it is, that penguin mom is so irresponsible.
You know, she left the baby behind, but she had a cool pond to hang out in.
Yeah. Cool indeed. In the most literal sense
Oh,
possible.
jeez, I didn't even mean to do that.
Yeah. But hey, unintended puns are the
A cool,
best
cool
kind.
pond. Yeah, right?
They're the best kind of puns.
Exactly.
Alright. So, okay. I think Horror might be opting for CCM 18. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, absolutely. He just finished up the slide.
No double Tama lovers on this race today, unfortunately.
And you know, I think that's a fair choice to make.
Yeah,
and we'll see Kryptic probably go for his super cool 100 coin strat then.
Slide skip?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Like
Here
for
he
those.
goes.
Oh yeah. For those. Ooh. Random punch for good luck. And either way,
You know-
for those. Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, you can go ahead.
But yeah, for those who are more versed in 120, there is this strat where, like, Kryptic, grabbing the blue coins, will skip a stretch of the slide. And this strat's actually interesting, because if you're off the air for too long, the anti-cheat system's triggered, and the racer's just like, no, you're a cheater, you're not getting the star. So, as we see Kryptic skip that stretch of the slide. He's
totally nails the strat.
Yep. Off air while still respecting the anti-cheat threshold. It's a small time save, but god damn is it neat.
Absolutely.
So,
And
yeah.
both racers now headed toward Big Boo's haunt. Everybody, cover your face with your blanket. I will let you know when it's okay to look again at your screen.
Yeah. I don't know why Saren just doesn't, like, turn off the camera feeds for BBH.
It is
can't-
so spooky.
You can't traumatize your viewer base like that, you know.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, and if you gotta show the scary, you gotta show the scary.
Yep. For the sake of validity.
We're with a very interesting camera angle.
Oh yeah. Horror demonstrating that some runners will opt for the scuffed camera angles if it means they can focus on their movement more.
Very interesting.
Yep, for sure. Horror's definitely an impressive runner in his own right. You'll see a lot of
100%.
you'll see a lot of interesting stuff.
And
yeah.
Horror headed out of BBH as Kryptic finishes up his last BBH star.
Not quite getting the kick, but quick grab looking good for Kryptic at least.
And we're headed to everybody's favorite rabbit.
Ooh. Horror almost missing Mips, but thankfully beat him for that free star.
And Kryptic will have the faster MIPS, which seems easier to catch consistently when going down this hallway.
Yeah. And honestly, that is a benefit of running Japanese version for 70. There's just
Yeah,
one
absolutely.
MIPS, one strat. Don't have to differentiate.
Yeah, unless you go down, unless you send him down the hallway toward HMC on your way there.
Yeah, that is one of the more tragic mistakes to make, but both of these runners nailing Plus without issue. Plus has just been so smooth and so clean for these races.
Absolutely.
It is a difficult trick.
Oh, and Horror with a little bit of sketchy movement, but Kryptic waking the Fly Guy.
Not even waking. The Fly Guy was just in a troll mood. Oh, barely making it up on the pyramid base. Interesting finish position for that star grab.
That is an unfortunate situation for Kryptic.
Kryptic not looking like he's nearly having a good time as he did when he was soft walking.
And Klepto cooperating this time around.
Gotta love it.
Hmm?
Yeah, go ahead.
As Horror heads to do wing cap logless and gets a very clean star.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say? Sorry about that.
Yeah. Gotta love how some of these runners just wear their emotions on their sleeve when they have the webcam on.
It is an interesting dynamic, to say the least, when it comes to watching races. It does add to the drama of the race just a little.
Yeah. Horror going for long jump lava boost, getting it, and looking clean.
So the routing here is slightly different.
Yeah. LOL, you have 6 stars to grab, and people are more comfortable with certain strats, so there's definitely an order variance when it comes to this stage.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of 120 runners favor the 120 order for the stars, even when they go to other categories. Because, you get Volcano last.
Yeah, because the shell only spawns when the 5th star becomes a valid option in the menu.
Exactly. Kryptic headed for puzzle reds and just so very clean.
Yeah, definitely one of the simpler stars in the game, but still looks pretty elegant when done correctly. Ooh, taking a bonk, unfortunately.
Sometimes Mario just doesn't like to slide kick the way we want him to.
Yeah, it's just interesting how 2 important movement mechanics is conditional based on his speed. 2 sides of the same coin.
Yep.
Ooh, nice. Clean looking elevator for Horror.
And we'll see how Kryptic answers this. Whether he goes for elevator or... Alright, and he's headed for a long jump boost as well.
Yeah. Yeah, on your earlier point about the 70 exclusive stars, Lava Boost is one of them. I was kind of worried. I was kind of worried for Kryptic since he's the 120 runner. You do like 100 coin, go up the volcano instead there. But
nah, he's well versed in 70 star. He knows the deal.
Yeah, fair. But pulling off long jump boost quite well.
And Horror headed to Dire Docks while Cryptic finishes up in LLL. I almost said Lethal Lava Land to like continue with the saying Dire Docks' full name, but it's just so many more syllables.
Yeah, these devs really embellished with the stage names and the star names, so that's why we just have all these neat acronyms. Can't be
sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, it's just interesting how many of the star names are actually references to some pop culture thing. Like, for example, The Pit and the Pendulum is a famous Edgar Allan Poe story. Somewhere Over the Rainbow is a line from The Wizard of Oz, and all sorts of other things. I just really love that about the star names.
Well, yeah, I think you'll see that with a decent chunk of video games.
Yeah, well-designed ones will often have those kinds of nods, right?
Yeah. The product is catered to our society, so you gotta make references here and there, you know, to make it more relatable.
It looks like Horror is doing the splice.
Yeah. Might be a bit too early for that. He had like a nice lead. Should've saved that one splice for upstairs, man.
Hopefully we get Horror's feedback.
Rip. At least Cryptic's still standing tall right now.
Yeah, Cryptic swimming his butt off right now.
Oh. Yeah, opting for front sub. I mean back sub. Wow. His streak is down. Yep, there it is. Offline. How unfortunate. Really taking this whole splice thing to its fullest advantage.
Yeah. So it's hard to say how the race itself is going, but Cryptic continuing to have very clean movement.
Ooh, well.
Gets that first ring. Very nice. Sorry.
Yeah, proper adjustment for Manta. No Manta meltdowns at least. And yep, Horror's out of the thing. Rip.
Yep.
While he's offline, we can at least admire his banner for his Twitch channel.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is some nifty looking right there.
I think in order to keep the attention of all the viewers, we may need for a moment some Subway Surfers action.
Oh boy.
But in all seriousness, I believe, we got Horror back. Good stuff.
Yeah. Okay, I think I see what he was going for. He used his splice for Fire Sea. Don't blame him, it's a tough stage.
It really is.
20-second lost over a gentle breeze.
So, Cryptic somewhat significantly behind at this point.
I wouldn't say significant.
Well, he's got about 50 seconds to get to where Horror currently is.
Upstairs is upstairs.
That is true. You never know what's going to happen, so you can't count him out. But being a whole Bowser fight, a Bowser 2 especially, behind is a fairly significant gap.
Yeah, that is fair, though. Bowser stalls a lot with that stomp attack.
Absolutely, yeah.
Cryptic barely getting that throw. Unlike the other two fights, the hitboxes for these bombs are so strict. The slightest deviation will lose you 17 seconds.
Yeah, those bombs are wacky, and I swear sometimes they dodge.
Yeah, as nerve-wracking as the Bits fight is, those bombs are at least lenient. It's just the fact that you have to do it 3 times is scary under pressure and nerves.
Yeah, I feel that.
Horror opting to use his buffer coin there. Don't blame him, that RNG was just so whack.
I didn't actually see what he did. Wait, oh, lose his buffer coin, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you said use. It's like, there's a buffer coin you can use? What do you mean? But now I gotcha.
Yeah. As you know, this 100 coin is RNG heavy.
Oh, absolutely.
Coin spreads can be so bad, and you can only miss 1 coin if you want to stick with plan A.
Yep. Fortunately, though, collecting the coins from that box isn't so bad time-wise. I was just having a conversation with some people the other day, and we were talking about how, like, it feels way worse to have to go get that 3-coin box than it actually is. If you just skip the second Skeeter, the one that you hop on with the blue coin box, you can get the coin box, and it doesn't lose that much time. It loses, like, less than a second.
Yeah, that is a gamma, though, because in between Skeeter and the backup box, there's so many more boxes to collect. There's the Chuckya you have to kill.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, if you get bad RNG on the other things, and, like, miss something, then, you really only do have that 1 coin buffer at that point.
Yeah, all it takes is a bad coin spread for this 100 coin to go wrong. Horror opting to do the conventional strat for top of town. Don't blame him. Triple jump wall kick, which Cryptic's going for now, actually. Gets it. Saving around 3 seconds for elevator, as Cryptic's doing now, but only about 1 to 2 in top of town, as Horror opted to skip that strat. High risk, low reward, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, and I think it's a smart move on Cryptic's part to kind of, throw some of these faster but more difficult strats out. You know what I mean? And get that time save, which he just did twice in a row.
Yeah. Getting both is respectable. But honestly, not the most unexpected thing. He does have a 141 in 120, I think. So, I think that's
Very
the level.
Fast boy indeed.
Yeah. I think that's the level where you would need to drop both triple jump wall kicks to stay competitive. Ooh,
And Horror missing the mountain clip.
Yeah. That mountain clip is so scuffed. It's hard to learn when you're first, discovering and learning this strat.
It can definitely be a very difficult strat to get consistent at. And losing that time isn't necessarily a good thing for Horror at this moment.
Yeah, but it is interesting to keep the race tight,
Absolutely. Racers are following the script.
Yeah. Ooh. Nice recovery on Cryptic's end. Slightly cleaner looking secrets off of Cryptic's end. Definitely has plenty of fight left in him.
He sure does.
Alright, both are just Horror's wrapping up THI.
Yep, and Cryptic is headed for another mountain clip, just on a way bigger mountain.
Yeah. That ending movement was a bit sloppy, but still pretty good.
Maintaining 1 star behind right now.
Yeah. Nothing too earth-shattering. 3-star from Toad.
You gotta love it. Toads are always trying to give you free stars.
Yeah. Like, everyone's just hating on the Toads, but I think it's the Goombas and Amps that deserve that black, honestly. Ooh, that camera adjustment not quite working out for Horror, but still getting the log wall kick without issue. Looking good.
Kryptic headed to get his Toad star right now.
Yeah. Horror is stupidly consistent, so definitely not letting up anytime soon. 2 mountain clips, super clean. And love to see it. Ooh,
Oh,
I
and
mean,
Horror bonks off the invis wall, but very quick backup with the box.
Kryptic, you mean? Okay, thankfully
Did I
worked
say Horror?
out. Yes, you did.
That's my bad. You knew what I meant.
I did,
but-
but we gotta
No,
help. Gotta help the audience out, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. The audience knew what I meant too.
Yeah.
Oh, but Horror fumbling on the way to coin 5 very slightly.
A good play-by-play, good instructions, does not leave room for interpretation. Ambiguity is the enemy when it comes to communication. I mean, you laugh now, but that just holds painfully true for life.
It's
in
so
general.
true. I'm actually the reason I was laughing pretty hard is because I deal with ambiguity from people at work all the time. So it's just like it particularly struck me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, especially if you're working in a more corporate environment, you'll realize that a lot of these meetings you're stuck in, people just beat around the bush over the simplest things, you know?
Yep.
Like, just could have answered a bunch of those questions by email, you know?
Yeah, didn't have to pick up the phone for this. It would have been easier.
Yeah. Yep, just imagine like the software development side of things where there is no room for ambiguity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel that. And so Kryptic is almost out of TTM.
And that star seals the deal, making it out of TTM. Horror is really holding his own for upstairs.
Yeah,
So-
Horror is currently cruising.
It's so easy to choke this part, honestly. Yeah. Good head for Kryptic. Alrighty. So, now we're kind of reaching the calm before the storm that is Tippy. Not necessarily...
Absolutely, yeah.
The stars are not necessarily easy, but... Like... It is a fair bit easier on the mental load before the final frontier that's Tippy.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Snowman Land does offer its own particular difficulties, but it is kind of a nice, We're kind of heading into a nice little lull here with HMC.
Yeah. I mean, once you get, like, Snowman's head and Pond out of the way, it's fairly chill.
Yeah, 100%.
Good Mips grab for Horror. While Cryptic goes to kill the Ice Bully.
Very smooth movement from Kryptic there.
Yeah. You
And-
definitely don't... Go ahead.
Horror getting his free stars. So many free stars on his way into HMC.
I'd argue Mips isn't free.
I mean, when I say free stars, it's more just like, you know, you're moving through the castle and you're grabbing them on the way through, you know what I mean?
Yeah, fair enough. Mips just trolls people.
He does sometimes. He likes to do that.
But not in this race.
Nope. And Cryptic with a very clean Mips grab as well.
Oh, for sure.
Headed to get his other free Toad star.
Ooh,
Makes you wonder. Sorry.
Not quite a good angle for Horror. Not getting it the second time. Trying to back it up directly is a difficult feat because your camera is not what it should be for a good box jump setup. But does get a good Christmas miracle at least. Ooh, Cryptic going for the 16-star movement for exit, but not quite working out. Having to back it up with rolling rocks. Thankfully, the boulders have been kind.
And Horror once again going for that box triple jump and missing.
Oh, he used up all his backup, so he does have to commit. Oh, but gain it eventually. But that mishap closed the gap a fair bit.
Yeah, that was a substantial amount of time loss.
Yep, unfortunately. Like, box jump is one of the easier, difficult tricks, but it does get you, no matter what level you're at. It can become a mental block if you don't take good care to address it. The boulder's not being as nice to Horror as it was to Cryptic, unfortunately.
Yeah, Boulder RNG is an unfortunate consequence of HMC.
Yeah. It's one of my least favorite easy stars.
Yeah, I feel like the backup is another one of those things that just feels really bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're just like, oh, I just lost like 20 seconds, even though it's, you know, only like 1 or 2.
Though the neat thing is that if you're a 16-star no LBLJ enjoyer, if you're bold enough to go for side hop and Tomaples, he could just skip rolling rocks entirely, because that's the slowest of what you're gonna exclude.
Yeah. Yeah,
Ooh, not quite
unfortunately, you
getting-
do have to go for some really hard stuff. In order to...
Oh, the choke. Not quite getting the side flip for lack of balance. Tried to back it up with reds, but unfortunately failed.
And suddenly, Cryptic's really close behind Horror.
Yeah. Horror's in danger. It's ironic how the runner named Horror is the one in a horrifying situation. But second try at lack of balance, looking clean. Cryptic slipping off, unfortunately. That 5-frame rule on the slopes is such an annoying thing to contend with. Is being denied to jump for those first 4 or 5 frames.
Yeah, while the slide starts.
Yeah. Clean looking
Horror with
triangles.
Clean triangles, yeah.
Love to see it. Kind of like how both runners are just wearing red shirts in particular. Alright, Cryptic second try at Lackabout. Going for the safer ending. Not losing much time though. Fairly clean. So aside from that mishap at the beginning, Horror's handling Tippy rather well so far.
Sorry about that. My whole internet decided to blow up again.
Ooh,
And
I
an
think
interesting backup from Cryptic on Tricky Triangles.
yeah, been known to happen. Just get denied by the platform or whatever. Gotta build up speed to back it up.
I've never seen someone do that before. That's really interesting.
Well, take good notes, because if you ever get to the point where you want to try pro triangles, that is a good backup to do.
Yeah. Watching these tournament races, there's always something a Pep OG about.
Yeah, I feel like it's the world record runners that draws an audience into the Mario 64 community. But it's more these community events, these races and whatnot. It's what drives the audience to play this game. You know?
Yeah.
Especially if it's a tournament that caters more to beginners and intermediate players. It can inspire some people lurking in the shadows to actually come forth and play the game for themselves, you know?
Yeah. It's really cool how Cool Cat Gang does this for the community. And speaking of Cool Cat Gang doing awesome things for the community, you can do awesome things for Cool Cat Gang by liking, commenting, and subscribing.
Oh, for sure. And yeah, just speaking of which, Simply's Freshman 16 way back in 2020. That's what got me out of the shadows.
Nice. Yeah, his world record that he set in I think March of 2020 was what made me go, this is awesome. I need to start doing this.
Yeah, I think it was May 2020, but the combination of that world record, his freshman 16, getting beginners into the fray, I think it did a lot for the player base of Mario 64 as a speed game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like imagine if it... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, in Horror with a clean flippies.
Ooh, but Saren pointing out that Horror got squashed.
Horror does squish runs.
Yeah. Yeah, just imagine. If it wasn't for Mario 3D All-Stars and Simply content, I would not be here commentating this race today.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Yeah. Just the things that set you on paths
Yeah.
to other things, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Like, just the sequence of events that leads to you, being in a place, and now we're both here, like, commenting on this race, and it's kind of crazy when you think about it.
Oh, for sure.
Or
just
a very clean flippies on that one too. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Flippies is such an amazing background to have a conversation about an existential crisis, about how if you wouldn't be doing this at all if it wasn't for this one thing. You know?
Yeah. And Cryptic having to back up a botched Flippies
Yeah, it's been known to happen. Oh, oh
my gosh. And a
Played
death for
it
Kryptic.
Played it safe and got punished anyways. I think he shied away from that wall kick and it just did not work out for him.
Alright, and Horror stopping the clock for 8 reds.
Oh, yeah. Like, it's just common knowledge now, but just imagine back in the day, just playing this game casually. How am I supposed to get all these coins, you know?
Yeah. Well, it is the name of the star. But if you weren't paying attention to that, you would have no idea.
Yeah. That toad that Horror just got the star from is your only reasonable clue to stop time for red coins.
Interesting.
Oh.
He's
Kryptic getting
also the emotional support toad.
Yeah. Kryptic getting an absolute beatdown from TTC, unfortunately.
Yeah. Horror's headed into Sky.
Not on PB pace, but looking like solid 49 pace for Horror, which is honestly fantastic for a race.
You like to see a 49 in a race.
Hell, even a 50 and a 51 is still pretty impressive.
100%.
Going for standing left. Ooh,
And
not quite getting
misses it.
Trying to back it up. Gets it the second time, thankfully.
And Kryptic taking, another fall in TTC and another death.
Yeah. TTC is probably one of Kryptic's kryptonite, you know?
I see what you did there.
Oh, man.
And Horror splicing again.
Why you gotta keep us in suspense, Horror? It's horrifying.
Yeah, it is absolutely good grief. It is horrifying.
Yeah. Alright, Horror taking the W for this race. Give a GG's in the chat for his impressive performance, bopping me in a simple race. That is honestly impressive. Well earned. Love to see it. Meanwhile, I think we'll see Kryptic close this out, maybe? Yep. So let's send him off.
And he is still in the deafened state.
Yeah.
Collecting that toad.
Alright. So, before we interview both the racers, let's see how Kryptic finishes us off the race. Congrats, Horror, by the way. Very impressive.
Yeah, it was a good run for me.
Yeah. Loving that confidence. And with that, we see Kryptic's performance in bits. This is another one of those 70-star exclusives, because in 120, you gotta collect the reds.
Yeah, it's a really weird back and forth, I feel like, but Kryptic currently headed to do standing left.
Gets it, first try.
Good stuff.
Ooh, getting stopped by that.
For the elevator.
Getting stopped by that railing, unfortunately, but still a clean looking bits. Down to throws. Let's see how it goes for Kryptic.
He could get a 51, which, as you stated previously, is a fantastic race time.
That's one. Interesting regrab movement. That is 2.
Sometimes you just gotta space it out a little bit so that you can go grab that tail.
That is 3. Kryptic finishing the race. May
Really
not-
strong Sky.
Yeah. May have not taken the W, but put up a valiant effort to finish with a 51 time. Still very impressive. Give a GG's to Kryptic for his performance tonight on this race. And with that, both racers have finished. Horror, you have taken the W for today's race. You said you felt good about your race today. What did you feel proud of in particular?
I was PB pace up until HMC and Rainbow Ride, I think. Yeah.
That was a
pretty
really
much-
strong performance.
Yeah.
The death was unfortunate in RR.
Oh yeah. I was trying to do a dive and just Mario just did a jump dive instead and just fell down after I saved it. So it's like, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
I was watching that and I was like, that's so unfortunate, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how I play though, and you know, sometimes Tippy is good, sometimes it doesn't go your way, but overall, yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Meanwhile, Kryptic, while you didn't take the W for this race, you still put up a good performance. You have demonstrated why you are as good of a 120 runner as you are. How'd you feel about that race overall?
Just a lot of well, thank you first of all, and just a lot of silly mistakes. And when you're running against a speedrunner like Horror, who's very consistent, you cannot make tiny mistakes like that. So I just try to go with my flow, just trying to get I guess not to mess up as many strats as possible, because I am using a new controller, so or new gears. So I'm trying to get used to other angles and stuff. So that's why I finished the race as well, or the run.
That's
Yeah.
a smart move. Being on half a new controller is definitely a small disadvantage.
Yeah, it's not really a and I don't want to use the new controller as an excuse. I mean, Horror played fucking insane, so
He
so
played
yeah.
out of his mind.
yeah. So it was,
49
I had to
beats.
play like pretty much perfect if I wanted it to win. So
Yeah.
can't really say much to that, or do much.
You put up a really solid race, though.
Thanks. GG's though.
Yep, GG's to the both of you. And with that, that is the last race of tonight concluded. Tomorrow, Horror has another exciting race against Scythamer, someone who is also a formidable opponent that has a 47, so subscribe to the CCG channel if you want to get prompt and notification on that.
Yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. It is the best way to engage with the channel and make sure that it continues to grow and thrive.
But yeah, with that, have a wonderful night or morning, everybody.